Hi everyone, welcome back to Tamara's Tarot Oracle channel. I feel like I haven't done a video to follow up my previous videos in regards to the Morgan Greer walkthrough. And I wanted to make a quick video and get to the next suit. I believe we left off at Cups. So the next suit I was going to introduce today is the suit of Pentacles. I'm not sure if I mentioned or not, I can't remember, but each suit signifies one of the 4 seasons. So we started off with the Wands, I believe. So the Wand signifies spring, rebirth and all that. And the Cup signifies summer. And the Pentacles, which we are on now, signifies fall. So right here in the northern hemisphere, it is fall, slowly going into winter, so not my favorite time of year. I love early fall, like late summer, early fall. But yeah, anyway, let's start off with the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is known as one of the most fortuitous cards in the deck. It is just this incredible abundance of wealth and health and prosperity, material possessions and things like this. Is I don't know if you can see if she's in the camera or not, my little dachshund Daisy. Hi. So yeah, this is just such a beautiful card. I love the way it's been designed. And then you have the archway, which also can signify perhaps marriage. So it's just a beautiful card of just that unlimited potential, as I keep saying, because that's really what the aces are all about. It's just this incredible outburst of the energy pertaining to that particular suit. And in this case, Pentacles is everything within the earthly realm. So it's just, here it is, here's the key, key to unlock all these amazing things, and it's what you choose to do with them and how you choose to progress that will decide whether or not, things go about in the right way. She said, she's looking at me. Yeah, so that's the Ace of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is about change. It's about balance. It's about adjusting to one's circumstance, or adapting rather. So, it could be a financial gain and loss, like to kind of have to balance the two out. Like, for instance, don't spend more than you earn. Maybe cut back on spending on certain things and kind of assess your finances and get things all, sorted out that way. So there isn't stress and you can create more of a harmonious, experience life, basically, because finances unfortunately rule so much of our lives, and money isn't the most important thing, but without it there's very little you can do, unfortunately. So it's good to assess your finances and see where you are and see what you need and what you don't need, and kind of budget and start planning that way, so everything it doesn't lead to debt or like something more serious down the road. So in the back there's a ship on a wavy ocean. So you kind of have to go with the flow and readapt to a new situation. Maybe you were demoted and you can't afford the things that you once afforded. So you have to kind of work within your means, and everything's relative. So you kind of have to just, it's very humbling for that to happen, and you just kind of have to work within your means and not, create this insurmountable amount of debt. Oh, Daisy, my card. So yeah, so that's the Two of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about work. It's about taking pride in one's work. It's about fine-tuning, by paying close attention to detail. It doesn't just have to be a project on one's own. It could be, a group dynamic, and it's really just being recognized and acknowledged for all the work and effort and time and patience and dedication that one puts into their work. So it's obviously a lot easier to do that when you enjoy what you're doing. And I think not enough of us are in that situation. So it's amazing when you are, and or if you're in a situation where you can work towards being in a better situation where you can have that and live that every day would be amazing. Oh, my box. I just want to put that away. So the Four of Pentacles is the next card in the series, and this is sort of about possessiveness and being a bit selfish and you know, materialistic and things like that. It's sort of like really clutching on to what you have and not really letting anyone else have any of it. So not really interested in sharing or, you know, spreading the wealth, so to speak. You know, it also becomes dangerous if it leads to obsession and you know, it closes yourself off to people, to others, to emotion, to feeling like you just, you know, there's such a thing as balance, as I've mentioned, and as you'll always hear throughout, you know, any kind of spiritual practice. It really is about that, and it's nice to have nice things, but it's also nice to be a nice person and to share your wealth, and wealth doesn't have to be monetary so much. It's just the things that we have that we appreciate, that we tend to take for granted, but you know, things that we can spare a little of, you know, to help someone else along and shed some light on their, you know, situation or brighten their day or that kind of thing. So yeah, this is just, you know, somebody who really enjoys monetary gain and wealth and perhaps even the power that comes along with that. So it's good to stay in check and not get too carried away, and you know, remember who you are, where you came from, your roots basically, and just look within, and hopefully that will keep everything balanced. The Five of Pentacles is about loss of faith and hope, and maybe, you know, a bit of monetary loss, or maybe a little bit of a decline in your health. It's just a very woe is me card. You know, it can lead to anxiety and you know, depression. And in this depiction, or like, this is the standard, this basically follows the standard Rider-Waite. You know, there's a church behind them. I imagine that being a church, and or some form of a, you know, a place of, it doesn't have to be worship, but just a place of help, like a support basically. And you know, you see the light coming in through the window or out through the window, and they choose not to heed that, you know, to accept the support and the help being offered. And some of us, you know, let our pride get in the way and think that we can do it all on our own, when in fact we can't. It might be too much, and sometimes it's okay to accept defeat. Not that you're defeated, but just in that moment that, you know, maybe, hey, I can't do it all, and it's not such a bad thing. Asking for help. It's almost like they're willing to just set off on this journey themselves without accepting guidance. So, you know, we all have our own path, and it's whatever we choose to do for ourselves that we best think, you know, works best for us. So, you know, but I mean, it's there, and there's always help. Even when we think there isn't, there's always the support that comes with trying times. The Six of Pentacles is about generosity. It's about maybe settling debts. Maybe it's lending money. Maybe it's paying off debts, that kind of thing. Or maybe it's, you know, I kind of have this saying, it's giving what is required, not what is desired. So there's a scale in his hand. So it's about, you know, balancing, or, you know, having that equality, that fairness, that, okay, you are in need, so I will give you some means to eat and sleep and, you know, that kind of thing, a place to, you know, shelter, but not to the point where I'm giving you all this money and, you know, you're going to be careless with it, and not conservative. So he's really careful about how much he gives, but he is generous enough that he will give, because he's in a position of wealth and yeah. So I mean, if you know, I really admire and respect the people who aren't necessarily in a position to give, but they give anyway. I find that really admirable. So yeah, but I mean, you know, it's really amazing if you can give. Just that little bit can go a long way. The Seven of Pentacles is about patience, may lead to frustration. It's like he's waiting perhaps for his crops to flourish more. You know, he's put in a lot of hard work, a lot of time and energy and effort, and it's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. So you just kind of need to hold on and keep those wheels turning and keep, you know, brainstorming and thinking of ways to improve and all that kind of stuff. So I also read somewhere that it can mean like a new business venture and meeting new interesting people along the way. I actually love collecting different decks because some of the interpretations for card meanings differ a little bit from the traditional meanings, and I like that because it just gives a little bit more depth and insight. So yeah, so it's kind of like, I always looked at this as like, it could be like putting all your eggs in one basket. So do you do that, or do you kind of spread them out a little bit? Could he just give up and start anew? So it sort of depends on what the situation is, and if you're really not seeing any growth, maybe it's time to kind of throw in the towel. But you know, I think it's always good to persevere and not give up so quickly, and just keep hanging in there, and it's gonna, you know, it'll become hopefully what you set out for it to be. The Eight of Pentacles is about craftsmanship. It's about, you know, your passion and loving what you do. It's different to work. It's more, it could be your hobby. It just could be this absolute inspiration that brings so much passion and vibrancy to your life, and paying so much close attention to detail and really taking pride in what you do, and getting a lot of fulfillment and a lot of satisfaction from doing whatever it is. So if, you know, you're an artist, or, you know, a craftsman, like a sculptor, a writer, I'm thinking all the artsy things, but like really anything. If it's something that you just love to do and it really fills your soul, feeds your soul, then that's amazing. I think we all need at least one thing like that in our lives. And if it can't be our job, then we should definitely have an outlet that can give us all those things and can make us feel elated and incredibly full of joy, because that is so important. We have the Nine of Pentacles next, and it's about, you know, she's an independent, strong woman, and she's enjoying her wealth. She's worked hard for it, and now she's sort of reaping its rewards. So she has that beautiful falcon atop her hand, and, you know, grapes, and she's, you know, luxuriating in all her fine things. So that's a very nice card. Like she's arrived, she's worked hard, and she deserves every bit of enjoyment that she can get out of it. The Ten of Pentacles is about protection. It's about legacy. It's about, you know, continuing on the generations. It's about, you know, material prosperity, wealth. I mean, you know, tremendous amounts of success, that kind of thing. You know, you have that real strong, solid stability, and ultimately, you know, protection. And yeah, it's just a really one of the most positive cards of the deck, and it's you know, it's a very strong card, and it's a very, yeah. Yeah. The Page of Pentacles is the student, as pages tend to be. They're the younger person, or if someone's young at heart or has a young soul, and you know, they're like sponges. They absorb everything. You know, the pages are incredibly studious, and, you know, pay close attention to detail, and very hardworking, and very inquisitive, you know, curious, and just, they want to know about everything, you know, like as if they're looking at the world through a magnifying glass. So that's the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, just a very practical kind of person. And the Knight of Pentacles, yeah, you're very reliable. Like, you know who you can call when you're in trouble. You know who you can go to. He'll always be there. He's very steadfast. Not in this particular depiction, but in the other knights, you know, they're kind of riding into battle, or like they're in action on horses, and he's just standing there. So he just sort of assessing his risks, you know, do I do it? Should I not? Like, maybe it's not necessary. And he just has a much more methodical approach to life. And I'll quickly finish because I am running out of time. The Queen of Pentacles is all about commitment. She's a very, you know, hardworking businesswoman. She likes to help others in need. She's very generous. She's very warm and loving. She's, you know, a dutiful wife and a devoted and loyal, loving, you know, mother, and she has nice things, and she likes luxuriating in those nice things, surrounding herself in fine, you know, fabrics, or, you know, with fine wine and that kind of thing. And she likes to throw parties and do a lot of philanthropy and that kind of thing. So she's a very giving person, and she has a very good work ethic, very strong work ethic, and that's what gets her that kind of material gain and that financial reward. And last but not least, we have the King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles is like King Midas. Everything he touches turns to gold. He's a very wealthy man, because he goes about business in the way that just works. It's practical, it's tried, it's true. You know, he's a strong, dependable man, and you know, he's come to great wealth through his methods that have been tried, tested, and true. So, you know, the Pentacles suit is all about the material aspects of, you know, everything within the earthly realm, and everything with the human body, and everything with everything that we acquire, we desire, everything like that. So it's a very, you know, like every suit's fundamental, but this one especially, it just really is the basis from which everything else, you know, becomes. So this, well, next time I make a video, the last video for this particular series will be the swords, and that's like all about the mental. And anyway, that's my cue to go. This is probably my quickest video yet. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see everybody soon. Take care.